All right, let's take a look at this argument. Some oysters are slimy shellfish. Therefore, all oysters are slimy shellfish. Try and say that 10 times fast. All right, so we have an I statement as our premise and an A statement as our conclusion, and we know on the modern square of opposition from the Boolean standpoint, the relationship between corresponding I and A statements is logically undetermined. That tells us this argument is invalid from the Boolean standpoint, but the relationship between corresponding A and I statements isn't necessarily logically undetermined. We have this rule of subalternation. If it is true that some oysters are slimy shellfish, would it have to be the case by subalternation that all oysters are slimy shellfish? No. Because remember, if I have a given I claim and I'm told that I claim is false, then I can deduce that the corresponding A claim would also be false, because falsity floats up from that I claim to the A claim. Only truth trickles down. Anytime I try to make truth trickle up from an I claim to its corresponding A claim, I've committed the fallacy of illicit subalternation. Similarly, if I ever try to make the false value trickle down from an A claim to an I claim, or from an E claim to an O claim, I've committed the fallacy of illicit subalternation. So when you look at this argument here, it is false that no oysters are shellfish. I guess I'm missing the word are here. Therefore, it is false that some oysters are not shellfish. This doesn't work. This is invalid because falsity doesn't trickle down from an E statement to a corresponding O statement. Falsity only floats up. The most common mistake I see people making with subalternation is that they try to get the falsity to float down, and it doesn't do that. It's less common for people to try to get truth to trickle up, because it seems obvious to us that, like, look, just because some dogs are brown animals doesn't mean that they're all brown animals. But for some reason, folks will oftentimes try to make that false value of an A statement premise or an E statement premise float downward to a conclusion that's an I statement or an O statement, and it doesn't work that way. That's the fallacy of illicit subalternation, and anytime we commit that, the argument is invalid.